Hello, my name is Louis Marandola, and this is my presentation on landscape changes. Now, before I get into all the talking and all my slides, I want to just apologize because I am a little sick, and so if my presentation voice and the sniffling is a distraction, I would like to apologize in advance. Anyways, how climate change impacts global landscapes. Global landscapes can be anything from grassy plains to mountain ranges, and climate change can affect several of these landscapes. The first way that climate change can affect these landscapes is through accelerated coastal erosion. Now, coastal erosion is a normal process in nature. However, due to climate change, the rate is increasing. Some responses that we would need to consider, or factors that we would need to consider before responding to coastal erosion, would be the elevation, the slope, the features of the coastal area, and the historical change rate of erosion in that area. And coastal erosion can be caused from rising sea levels and flooding and any other sort of ocean-related climate factor. Certain forms of preventions can actually be detrimental to the coast and actually accelerate coastal erosion. Dams are one such example, because with dams come sand trapping, where, as the name implies, sand gets trapped around the dam, which takes away from the beaches, which then perpetuate coastal erosion. And another way that dams are detrimental is through channel avulsion. Now, avulsion means that a certain course of water will change course and create a new path, and that alone will also cause erosion. Rising sea levels, as I mentioned earlier in the previous slide, is another way that climate change affects global landscapes. The pace of sea level rise has doubled since 1993, since the measurements made in 1993 and 2002. It has risen, the global sea level has risen 6.7 inches in the last 100 years, and in the contiguous U.S., 11 inches, which is a staggering number. Rising sea levels can threaten coastal cities and islands, and it can be caused by glacial melts and ocean heat. And ocean heat can contribute to rising sea levels because as water warms, it expands, thus raising the sea level. Changes in ocean currents and wind patterns are also contributors to sea level rise. How can climate change impact regional landscapes? Regional landscapes can be anything from the forests of California to the coasts of Florida and the coasts of Australia. Any landscape having to do with a specific region. Wildfires are one aspect of climate change that affect regional landscapes. There's the causes of these wildfires can be anything from extreme weather, drought, and increased storms. The extreme weather causes increased storms, which then produce more lightning strikes. And with the drier conditions, these lightning strikes ignite the essentially drier and fuel needed to create wildfires. And if we look at California throughout the years, the wildfires have been running rampant, and they are only increasing. In 2020, it was an especially bad year for wildfires. 5 out of 10 of California's largest wildfires happened that year. On average, 12,000 square miles are burned a year. And in the 80s, it was only 3,300 square miles. Another way that climate change is affecting regional landscapes is through flooding. Flooding is the most common natural disaster in the U.S. Some causes of flooding are storm surges, heavy rainfall, and snowmelt. As the climate worsens, though, floodplains are estimated to grow 45% by the end of the century. In the U.S. alone, 41 million people are at risk of flooding near rivers, and 8.6 million people are at risk of coastal flooding. And now, if we look at flooding and any other factor having to do with climate change, we can tell that they're all interconnected in some way. Flooding can lead to coastal erosion and can lead to drought because of water sources becoming thinned or unnatural cycles occurring. And these droughts can cause wildfires, and there are several different ways in which climate change connects and is interconnected. I hope that you enjoyed my presentation, and thank you for listening.